a nice little jar of rosehip syrup. Ooh, that syrup is soaked in. How's it going, you guys, and welcome back to another Earthen Rangers episode. Today we are doing a very special harvest and cook. We have already harvested some of the Rosa californica, which is the California wild rose hips, and we are about to cook them up today and make some rosehip syrup and put those on top of some delicious pancakes. I just picked up Arias from school. This is gonna be his after-school snack today, so let's get at it. You ready?
Yep.
So we have our rose hips that Arias and I harvested on one of our hikes. All right, so I want you to use your awareness and tell me when you think you see them.
Oh, those it?
Good job. Kind of like a sweet, tangy tomato.
It's okay.
What do you
I
think?
approve.
Not bad? Remember, it's super high in vitamin C. We went ahead and threw them in the fridge. And like I said, I just picked up Arias from school. And so we're going to make some after-school rosehip syrup with pancakes. We got our rose hips right here. Super simple to make the rosehip syrup. All you actually need is rose hips and sugar. You could also use honey instead of sugar, or you could use any type of like maple syrup or maple syrup relatives like box elder or anything like that if you're out in the wild. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be processing these rose hips. So we're going to be cutting off some of the ends, those green ends there. The hairs on the seeds of the rose hips are irritating if consumed raw, but we're going to be boiling them for the syrup, and then we're going to be filtering them, so we don't have to be too worried about that. Oh. Good job. Now we're gonna take these guys and we're gonna cut them up. Again, you could also put them in the blender if you're at home doing this recipe, but we're just going to be slicing and dicing here. Got our chopped up rose hips right there. And now we're ready to start boiling these guys. We're gonna boil them, let them simmer for about 20-30 minutes. And then we're going to strain them, add in the sugar, and then let them cool while we get the pancakes going. Okay, so the water has been boiling. I turned down the heat a little bit so that it's more of at a simmer right now. And now we're going to go ahead and add the rose hips. Typically, for a lot of times for this recipe, you'll filter the rosehip pulp out with a something like a cheesecloth, but we're just going to be using a coffee filter. So let's go ahead and pour this guy in here. So we got our filtered rosehip juice right there, and now we're going to add sugar to it. Bit there, looks good. A little bit more for good measure. It's going to stir it. We're going to put it back into the boiling pot. All right, now we're going to put it back on the burner. And bring it to a boil again. Now that the rosehip juice and sugar have boiled together, creating a syrup, we're going to go ahead and turn off the heat. We're going to take this and set it on the side, let that cool down for a second. And now that this is cooling, we're going to go ahead and add the syrup to our little syrup jar here. We're going to put the lid on, and we have ourselves a nice little jar of rosehip syrup. Look at that. So we're actually going to take this guy and we're going to cool it on some ice while we focus on our pancakes. Typically at this point, if you were making these at home, You'd let it cool and you'd put this in the fridge for a few hours. We're doing pancakes the quick and easy way this time. We got the delicious Kodiak Power Cakes. Let's go and open those guys up. No measuring in today's outdoor kitchen. Measuring's not necessary. Add a little bit of water. Perhaps a little more water. And a little more water. Add the pancake mixture to the pan. Let's get a nice layer. Coat this up. Let's get a little more in there. Let's get this guy on the burner. Now with the camp stove, the heat is always really uneven, so it's going to be difficult to not burn this pancake, but let's give it a shot. So as you guys could imagine, wild California rose is in the Rosaceae family, which is the rose family. And the only things you need to know in order to identify any plant species as being in the rose family is that, Arias?
That they have 5 petals, 5 sepals, and many stamens.
Exactly right. So all flowers of the Rosaceae family have 5 petals, 5 sepals, and numerous stamens. All right, and the moment we have all been waiting for, that pancake is ready. Let's get this guy plated. Didn't burn it too much. Got burnt a little bit, not too bad. And here we have our rosehip syrup. We got the finished Kodiak Bear pancake. Let's go ahead and put some of this rosehip syrup on the pancake. Ooh, looks good. It's a little runny because it didn't have time to cool down all the way yet. Let's get a little more on there, huh?
It looks so weird the way it does it.
What do you think, bud? Does it look good? All right. All right, he's got the sun in his eyes, but he's going to take the first official bite of the pancakes with rosehip syrup. How is it, bud?
Yes.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
What does the rosehip syrup taste like?
Tastes like rosehip, but better.
Like, like rosehips, but better?
Oh my god, this is so good.
Is it good?
We have to take a bite.
All right, I gotta try some. All right, so we're gonna try it out. We got it right here. Arias has already approved it. He likes it. Let's
I love it.
let's get a nice giant bite here. Ooh,
I
that
get all
syrup
the
is
way.
soaked in. Oh, it looks so good. Oh, you could smell the rose hips.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing?
Oh, we're gonna have to be making this more often.
Wait.
Especially since maple syrup's so expensive. This is the way to go. Well, let me get one more bite and then you can have the rest, Joe. Mmm.
Nom, nom, nom. It tastes so good. Guys, this almost tastes as good as normal syrup on this pancake.
You heard it here first, you guys. Rosehip syrup, almost as good as maple syrup. Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing Harvest and Cook special of rosehip syrup. We'll catch you guys on the next one, and we got another Harvest and Cook coming up soon. Stay tuned. Stay aware and protect.